Hi, I'm Alec from EasierHabits.com. I coach work from home dads in designing their ideal life, full of meaning, success, growth, and joy, a life they're proud to share with and model for their kids. And today I'd like to talk to you about one huge motivational advantage that parents have when it comes to designing and keeping new habits. Before I dive into that motivational advantage, I want to draw a distinction between what I would call a routine and an intentional habit. Now, routines are things that you do every day, and in a scientific sense, yes, they are habits. But in a practical sense, I find there is a big difference between a routine that you fall into because it's convenient in your current circumstances and a habit that you intentionally design and inject into your schedule. And the reason is that a routine will crumble when your circumstances change. An intentional habit might struggle, but it's much more likely to persist. And to give you an example of what I would consider a routine, when I was a college student and I was taking a Japanese class, I injured my leg and had a hard time walking to class, so I needed to drive up to campus. In order to get a parking spot, I had to drive up to campus an hour before my Japanese class. Now, being a lazy college student, I just decided not to do any studying for Japanese the night before. I would do it all in the hour before class. And it actually turned out that was the most regular study and most consistent study that I'd ever done for that class, and it was the best I ever did in a Japanese class. Now, of course, as soon as my class schedule changed and my knee felt better, that habit fell apart and I was nowhere near as good at studying Japanese. So in contrast, around the same time, I was trying to intentionally instill a goal of planning that was an intentional habit, right? It was something that wasn't thrust upon me by circumstances, but something I was trying to inject into my schedule. And to be honest, I failed repeatedly and horribly. I was very bad at planning, and I thought this is because I'm not disciplined, I'm not good enough. One thing I realized years and years later, after I had my first intentional habit, was the reason my planner habit, or one of the reasons my planner habit didn't succeed, is that it ran exactly counter to my identity. I was telling myself at the time that I was lazy, I was a procrastinator, and a planner just didn't really fit with that identity, and it kept I kept forgetting about it, and eventually I decided it really wasn't for me. I didn't have enough discipline. That wasn't the kind of person that I was. It actually, in some senses, quitting that habit reinforced the story I was telling about myself. Now, if you really want to design and keep a new habit, then that means that you have to figure out a way to tie that habit into your identity. And this is where we get to the major advantage that parents have when creating new positive habits, which is drawing on your identity as a parent. What kind of parent do you think you are? What kind of parent do you want to be? And really draw on that for creating your habit. So, fast forward from college several years, and my first son is born, and I am staring at a sink full of dirty dishes that I was supposed to do the night before and have left the whole day. And I'm looking at this sink and thinking, this isn't the kind of environment I was raised in. This is not who I want to be as a parent. And so from that point on, I decided two things that I would do to be the kind of parent that could create a positive environment for my kid, and also that could model positive behaviors like cleaning for my kid. And those habits were simply doing the dishes right after dinner, and also tidying up just a few objects at least when I came home from work. Really, at the start, it was like picking three things off the floor. The apartment definitely did not look clean after that, but I was building into myself an identity as a parent who cleans, and not because I'm a tidy person, but I was tying that back to my core identity. I am a person who wants to be able to model and pass on good habits to my kids. And so that turned cleaning, something I had always disliked, into a point of pride for me, something that I still do to this day and I now involve my kids in. So that was a powerful motivation for my habit. Now, I will confess that there was one big problem with how I developed this particular habit of cleaning. And it is the reason why I didn't get excited about changing my life. I didn't develop confidence in my ability to design new habits. It was kind of a one-off and just stood alone by itself for several years until I learned a slightly different way of developing habits. And this problem was that the habit was motivated by guilt. I was trying to avoid the guilt of feeling like I was providing a messy environment for my kids, that I was modeling bad behavior, and that was enough to get me started on this one habit, but it really didn't give me a sense of excitement about the change I could create in my own life with habits. That was something that would come later. And in my next vlog in a week, I will talk about how I developed my second habit and what it was about the process of developing that habit that got me really excited for change, that got me onto the path of developing an entire morning routine and constantly optimizing that routine and evening routines and making big changes in my life, one small habit at a time. So if you are a parent that is looking to change your life to become your best self for you and your kids, think about that identity. What kind of parent are you? Who do you want to be? And put that story into practice by designing one small habit. A few minutes a day is the best way to start. And every day that you start that habit, remind yourself of who you are and who you want to be, and that will anchor your habit into your identity, and it will make it much easier to start and keep good habits. If this video has been helpful to you, please hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with other parents who are trying to be their best selves. My whole goal is to help parents design their ideal lives, not only so they can live it, but they can model it for their kids. And the more you share, the more people I can help. And if you're interested in more, please visit easierhabits.com. I have a blog there. I also have a form where you can sign up for a free 30-minute consultation that helps you clarify who you are, who you want to be, your goals, and if we have enough time, what habits might help push you in that direction. I'll catch you next week. Until then, change your life one small habit at a time.